winning with a team.
Hello and welcome in to another episode, a special Wednesday night episode of Between the Hedges. Thank y'all for tuning in, whether it's now or it's Friday night as originally scheduled or whenever you thank you. And what is up tonight, guys? How are y'all?
Doing good, doing good. Uh, Ready for this weekend of football with it being rivalry weekend. And it's going to be kicking off here, I think some are tomorrow, and then we have some Friday and Saturday. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it should be a nice long weekend of football. It's one of my favorite weekends because everybody has a long weekend usually, and you got extra days of football, not
So
just all on Saturday. But
yes, sir.
I'm feeling a little under the weather, so I'm gonna dip out here in just a minute and let Mike and Matthew carry it on for the remainder of the show. But I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Pappy. He's one of our loyal fans, and I'm not sure if he's watching right now or not. But I know he will watch it. So when he does, Pappy is my father-in-law. It's the boy's grandfather, and today he underwent surgery to remove his kidney because they found cancer on it. Um, Everything went well. He's resting comfortably, and now he's just got to recover. So Um, just wanted to give him a shout out real quick and let him know that we're thinking about him and praying for him. And we can't wait for him to get healthy again and get back up on his feet. So, with that, I'm going to turn it back over to the guys here, and I will catch you guys on the next episode. Hopefully, I'll be back to feeling better myself by then.
Yep, get to feeling better. That was cool. Definitely glad that the news that we got today was good because you never know with those types of surgeries, and I
Yeah.
know he was in
So,
really good hands.
everything turned out as good as what we could have hoped. So now it's just a matter of him recovering from the surgery and regaining the strength. So anyway, you guys have a good one. I will check you later.
All
Have a
right,
good one.
feel
Bye.
better.
Feel better.
Thank you.
Well, and just to add to that, I know Pappy's one tough son of a gun, so I expected nothing less from the report we got earlier. So that was really, really awesome news. And what he would want us to do is quit making it about him and continue on with the show. And um, let's preview this Georgia game. This is my favorite week because it's Georgia Tech hate week. It's a it's our biggest rival. It's our most hated rival. They're in state and their little brother. And this year, they're having one of their better years in a long time. And little brother is getting a little bigger, but I still think we're gonna be able to,
Not
flex
big
and
enough.
keep them down. So
Yeah, and
we're-
I definitely want to say been praying a lot and thinking about Pappy a lot, especially today, especially because of his surgery. I wish I was down there, um, so I could see him because for me, he's my only grandfather, and same for you. So we don't have another grandfather in our life right now. So it's definitely nerve wracking to even think about, but I know he's gonna kick ass and recover very, very well because he's a strong man.
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, that's well said. Um, and Dad has started commenting in the chat. He said, three keys for the game. Do you want me to go first or you want to go first?
All right, I'll go first. One, the offense being consistent. Two, our defense getting back to where they were playing against like Tennessee, Alabama, um, I
Alabama
don't know,
second half.
Alabama second half, yes. Um, who else did they play good against? Mm, just being more disciplined and um tackling,
Hmm.
just doing the right thing and having the core fundamentals down because my gosh, we shouldn't have let up 21 points last week, but that's in the past, it's gone. So, but that's two. And then the third one, I hate to say this, but just score more points than them.
Pretty simple, right? And score more than them,
Yeah.
we win. Um, Dad is saying one, stop their running game, including the QB runs. Yeah, I was thinking along those lines. Two, win the turnover battle. Yep, you've always got to do that. And
Mhm.
then number three, no missed tackles. I think that should be number one. Um,
Number one is no missed tackles.
we we can't miss tackles and expect to slow their offense down because they're very slippery. They're good at what they do on offense. I think it's all defensive keys for me for this game. I think I've seen enough out of the offense the last couple of games to feel like they've gotten the kinks worked out. If the offense wasn't humming like it was last week, the UMass game is way closer than it should have been. Because the defense didn't show up for a half of that game, and I don't blame them. You know, it's hard to get up for these games, but they forgot to show up for that game until the second half.
Playing
Um,
Olay.
yeah, it was just a lot of ooh, ole.
Come on. Whoop.
Yeah. So winning the turnover battle, tackling well, and I'll say something that neither one of y'all said. Just like Kirby talks about all the time, this kind of goes with the no miss tackles, having eye discipline. You know, not staring too much into the backfield, letting the receiver blow by you, but also having eyes, in the right places on your keys all the time and making sure that what you're reading and seeing is what's happening and that you're there to make the play when you're supposed to be. Um, I know
Mhm.
that was a little in the weeds there, but Kirby's right when he says that every game. You know, eye discipline is such a big thing when you play defense, and that's the cornerstone of this dynasty that we're trying to build here at Georgia. And I would say that's probably going to be one of the determining factors is how well we come out on defense for
Mhm.
this game.
Right. Right. Uh, do you have a prediction for this game by chance?
Yeah, I'll go with mine first. Dad, you can put yours in the chat and I'll read it for everyone. But I say this is going to be a night kick, 7:30. It's going to be late. It's going to be cold. Um, it's going to be a blackout in the stands, and there's a rumor about maybe black jerseys.
We better.
So, because it's Black Friday, that's the first time we've ever played this game on Black Friday, so that's unique. Um, I'll go 41-14 dogs.
41-14.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And Dad just said 31-21 dogs. So he thinks it's a little closer. And I think that's a possibility if we don't do what we were just talking about, the keys to the game. If we do the opposite of all those things, yeah, 31-21 sounds like about right.
I think it'll either be 34-37 to 17.
Well, pick one. It's a field goal difference. You know that matters with our point spread. So
Yeah, I can't even remember the point spread. Uh, I'll go 37-17.
37-17.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, and I will let me go ahead and share my screen so we can see this.
Mm-hmm.
So the spread is 19.5. So your prediction would just barely get a cover for you,
Mm-hmm.
since you picked the dogs to cover. Um, as y'all can see, Dad's going with Tech, and that makes sense by his score prediction because he thinks it's going to be a two-score game.
Yep.
Which, like I said, I can very well see that happening.
I, I
This
could
is
too,
not,
but I feel like we gotta crush their hopes and dreams. I know they're bowl eligible regardless, but like we just gotta nip it in the bud and let them know like, hey, we're a big brother. You go sit your butt down. You did good in the ACC, but welcome to the SEC. You know, this is how you really play. Like, so I feel like we just need to nip it in the bud, have a score that's either mine or your prediction. I feel like just to shut up all the comments and not saying that Georgia Tech didn't do good this year, but I mean, I'll give them credit where credit's due. But when you're playing Georgia, I could care less how you did.
yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I feel. It's like if we don't come out and just start fast and get them on their heels, and really dominance of the game and control the game, then yeah, um, it'll be more like Dad's prediction. But I can also see us doing what we're talking about and coming out and controlling the game. So um, I think we just got too many good players in the right positions on the field. We've got too many matchup advantages against them. So I think we prevail and we cover. Um, so here's the um, oh, and here's the other thing. And this got me really excited. So I will actually be at the game Friday night.
What?
So I got I got invited, the Force family invited me to go to the game Friday night. So I'm super excited I will be there, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's gonna be really cold, but it's gonna be a lot of fun, I think. So I'm stoked about that.
What?
Yep. And
Oh,
this
you
was a
dirty dog.
yeah, this was just something that happened today. So pretty stoked about it.
Jeez. I wish I could go. Dang.
Yeah, so I'm
Well,
I'm hoping for a really good performance out of Georgia so that, I'm not screaming at the top of my lungs in a bad way.
right. Right. Yeah.
Only good way.
Well, you want to get with these picks?
Yeah. Moving on though to Clemson, at home against South Carolina. They're favored by 2.5. And as you can see, I'm the only one going with Clemson, so I'd like to hear the other side of that.
Well, considering Clemson had a bad loss early in the season and how South Carolina has been playing, I mean, they're on a 5 game win streak, and they've beaten some top 25 teams, handily, mind you, handily. Um, so I think South Carolina is going to win outright and at least by a touchdown, if not more. Because South Carolina's defense is absolutely insane. And I don't think Clemson's offense is going to do much with that defense at all, even if they're at home.
Okay. Well, I
So
mean, with the
that's why I picked South Carolina.
yeah, I mean, those are some good reasons. I went back and forth on this one with it being a 2.5 point spread. It's pretty much a pick 'em game. So I'm also glad though that we avoided the dreadful uh, agreement on this pick. So that makes me feel better about my pick. Uh,
Right, right.
Dad said South Carolina is the best defense Clemson will play since UGA. Remember what UGA's did to Clemson. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
um, that's very true. So y'all could be right, and I could definitely be wrong. I've been wrong most of the time this season on these. So um,
Unfortunately.
usually, guys, you can look at what I pick and go opposite, and it'll be right. So, but
All right. Yeah.
moving on to Ohio State, favored by 20.5 at home. Welcoming Michigan to the fold, um, to the big house. Or Michigan's the big house, right? The horseshoe. The horseshoe
The
is
horseshoe.
Ohio
The
State.
horseshoe. Mm-hmm.
Um, Me and you are going with Ohio State. I'd like to hear Dad's pick of Michigan here. The dreaded team that's always on our list this year. Somehow
Uh,
Dad found it within him to pick Michigan. I think I have an idea because I started thinking about this today. I was talking about this today at work. Um, Michigan might just be in their heads. They've won three in a row in this series. So I don't think they're going to win, but they can definitely keep it within three scores, three touchdowns.
Mm, it's a possibility, but at the same time, they had a quarterback in those 3 games recently,
They
and they had a
did.
solid quarterback, a solid run game. This year, they got nothing.
Yeah.
They're struggling to find points. So it's yeah, it's a lot of points, but with Ohio State being at home, Michigan in the road on the road with the team that they have right now, I don't see them. I think this is going to be a blowout. Truthfully, something like 34-10, something crazy like that, or 34-7. It's gonna be bad for Michigan.
Yeah, I mean I can definitely see it getting really ugly for him. But Dad's like, that's a lot of points. Hopefully Michigan plays with some pride and it's a rivalry game. Draw out the records. Crossing my fingers they keep it close, but I'm not super confident. Yeah, I wouldn't be either. So that's why I was curious. This could definitely get ugly fast for Michigan. And we
This
could look up
this
and Ohio State could be, blowing doors.
yeah, and this was probably the easiest pick that I had out of the six.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of looked at this one first and I was like, well, that one might be the easiest of the slate, but we'll see.
Hmm. Hmm.
We will see. I think this one's on Saturday, so as well as the Clemson South Carolina game. I think all the games other than the Georgia game, if I'm not mistaken, Dad, if you don't mind checking this for me, the rest of these games other than the Georgia game will be on Saturday, I think.
I think
Um,
so.
but moving on to the next game, we've got Alabama at home, favored by 11 and a half, taking on Auburn. And it looks like looks like me and you went with Auburn and Dad stuck with the Tide. So I like to hear what he has to say about picking the Tide, who I have no confidence in at this point.
After what happened last week, nah.
Not
With
at
them
all.
being at home, mm-mm.
And Dad says
So
that I was correct about the other five games being on Saturday.
perfect,
Yeah.
good. But yeah, I think Auburn. Hugh Freeze loves this game, and Hugh Freeze also loves a challenge. Every time he's challenged, he normally wins. If not, he's pretty close to winning the game. So I think Auburn, pretty much think Auburn has a good chance of ruining Alabama's playoff with this game Saturday.
Well, it's all but gone, and that would be the nail in the coffin, right? So, um, Dad says pretty much same thoughts as Ohio State, Michigan. So he's just hoping that it stays close
Mm-hmm.
enough. Yeah, I mean, or the same thoughts as Ohio State, Michigan. You picked Michigan as an underdog, so you're not hoping that it's close. Um, I'm I'm gonna take it a step further here. Um, and Dad said Alabama wants to get the bad taste of last week's game out of their mouth. Yeah, they probably do. And this is why I don't think this hot take will be as good as last week's hot take for me, but I'm gonna say Auburn wins this game outright.
Ooh, spicy, spicy.
Yeah, I think Auburn sticks it to Alabama, and it just this is gonna be the game that Alabama fans stew about for the next I don't know however long DeBoer's there. They're always gonna talk about 2024 playing Auburn being huge home favorites and yeah,
Losing.
losing, taking the L. So give me the Tigers.
Mm-hmm. Same. I can agree with that. Um, yeah, it's definitely gonna be that's gonna be one of the most interesting behind, I would say, Texas A&M, and we can talk about that game when we get to it. But the Alabama Auburn game is always a game um, that is interesting.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Dad says we missed his main point. Sorry. So many comments. Uh he said if Milrow gets to rolling, Auburn will have no answer for him. No, I mean they definitely won't. So that's why, I'm not as confident as I was last week about Florida winning, but um I mean I do think that Auburn can pull the upset here. So we will see. All they've got to do is keep it within 10, and I'm good. So
Same.
moving on to Notre Dame, uh, favored by 7.5 on the road at USC. Um, man, USC's had just a awful year based on a lot of things, but out after beating LSU, man, that feels like 2 seasons ago. So,
For
and
sure.
that doesn't look as good anymore.
No, not at all. Not after what they have done.
Neither team looks great. But we did the wretched thing of all agreeing on this game, picking Notre Dame. And I really, really wanted to find a reason to pick USC and that my upset pick, but I don't know. They've just been putrid. So uh Dad says good teams beat bad teams. Yeah, amen. And I think
Yeah.
Notre Dame rolls them. That's what
Yeah,
this
I
spread
think so too.
indicates.
I think so too, because it's just eh, as much as I hate Notre Dame, there's no hope for USC unless they have this one circled for the whole season and they just go wild on this game. And if they do, I feel like this will pretty much kick Notre Dame out of the playoff too, because this would be another bad loss for them.
Oh yeah. The the
And
lines
it went.
the line's
Go
telling
ahead.
you everything about this game. Um, Notre Dame is a road 7.5 point favorite, meaning on a neutral site, they would be a double-digit favorite.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, I mean, this would be a bad loss for them, and I think it would knock them out.
100%.
That'd be two really bad losses on the year. This one would be better, but still.
They're still bad losses because the way that USC has played this year, awful. And then you lose to Northern Illinois when you give them $1.2 million. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, um, last but not least, let's move on to Texas, favored by 5.5. On the road, traveling to College Station to play the Aggies. Um, I'm the only one going with Texas here, so I guess I'm the one that's got to talk.
Speak up.
Speak up, yeah. So Texas, we do know that Texas, their only game that they had a challenge was against Georgia, and they crapped the bed, right? At
Yep.
home, they got dominated. The final score wasn't even indicative of how far the gap was in that game, right? So they got a crap touchdown off the worst call I've probably ever seen in my entire life watching sports. But all that's not helping my argument. I get that. But I think Texas A&M got absolutely embarrassed by South Carolina. And I know South Carolina is on a roll, and that was like at the beginning of this roll that they're on. But I don't know. I don't believe. Yeah, it's at Texas A&M, so maybe that could it's going to give them a boost. That's a big home field advantage for them. Biggest stadium in the
Right.
SEC, probably biggest stadium in college football, other than the Big House in Michigan. So,
Hmm.
you know, I don't have a ton of confidence in them. They're too up and down for me. I think Texas, they've just been one of the most consistent teams all year outside of the Georgia game, and they're in the driver's seat. They don't have to come out and smack Texas A&M. Texas A&M has to come out and beat Texas, because Texas is the favorite, and everybody's already penciling them into the SEC championship game. So to me, I think year one's been great for Mike Elko and Texas A&M, but Texas is they've got too many dudes. I think they just come out on top in this one. Um, what do you think?
I think with it being at Texas A&M, which is one of the hard, not the hardest, but one of the harder stadiums to play at. Um, for Texas, I feel like this. So this is going to be their second challenge of the season because they've had one of the weakest schedules in SEC. If we had their schedule, we would probably be undefeated, no questions asked. But I feel like after Texas, yes, Texas did beat Kentucky, but it didn't. That was not a good win. They did not um, perform how I feel like they should against a team who has what one win in the conference, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it was Ole Miss.
And it was Ole Miss. So um, one of the bottom four teams came to your place and y'all beat them by 10.
Yeah, they weren't up for that game, clearly. I
What,
mean,
what are you doing? Like you have so much to that's against you right now. Um, and so much on the line. Like if you lose this game, it's not going to look good for you. I mean, you'll probably still make it to the playoff, but you're not going to have the conference championship under your belt. Um, and you're going to rely on the committee to bring you in if they feel like the second team that lost, if it's either Georgia or Texas A&M or even Texas, whoever wins this game, whoever that second team is, are they going to trump that second team and be the second SEC team, or they're going to bring all three? Like you don't know. With all this moving around that's going to be happening after rivalry week. Um,
say that fast.
you're right. So I feel like it's different. I think Texas has everything on the line, and Texas A&M, all they got to do is just use the home field advantage and get crap done. Do what they
And
do
they're,
best,
yeah,
and they've had a good season. They've proven themselves. Yes, besides South Carolina, but like I said before, again with Georgia and Georgia Tech, or with Georgia Tech, that's in the past. Um, and they got to focus on this game, and if they do, they got to face Georgia in the SEC championship. So this is a lot, no, for both teams. This is a lot on the line, but I think it's more so on Texas than Texas A&M.
yeah. Pressure's on Texas. Also going back to your point about not Texas not looking good against Kentucky, I think they were looking ahead to this game because I think they've got something
I
for
think so.
Texas A&M. I think
I think so too.
they've got a um they've got a point to prove because, like you said, the other tests that Texas has had this season, they failed. So it's time to pass the test and go play in Atlanta for rematch for the SEC title. And I think they get there. I think they get it done. Georgia and Texas have been the best two teams in the SEC all season, and I think we get that in Atlanta next week. So But
We'll see.
y'all disagree with me. You think we're going to be playing A&M?
I think so. I honestly think I think Georgia and A&M are the better teams in the SEC because just solely because of how Texas their schedule has been. Like it's legit the weakest schedule, and this is their second like true good game in the season, and it's the 12th game of the season.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. That's a crime basically, but it is what it is at this point.
Like
Um,
you can't give them. I mean, you can give them credit for how they've done, cool, but who have you beaten to prove yourself? Yeah, you can be consistent all the time, but who have you beaten to prove that you deserve X, Y, and Z?
well, we'll see. That's why you go play the
But
games.
then,
We'll see the
yeah,
results on the field, and we'll see who we face. I don't really care who it is because I want to beat whoever it is and get that
me too.
pie. Um,
Me too.
because now it's back in play. We were thinking it wasn't, but now it is. So might as well, right?
Yep,
Um,
go all in.
and here's something to watch on this game. I think it'll be the best game of the weekend. I really
I
do.
think so too.
Um, but Dad says not sure how bad Texas quarterback is hurt and how much he will be able to play. That's true. Ewers got knocked out of that game um, last week. So uh, I mean, I don't know. They may be better without him. Who knows? But he's definitely a leader and their guy this year. So that could make a difference. But the line still says Texas is favored. So, somebody knows something.
Yeah, somebody knows something, but at the end of the day, you gotta play the game.
Well, yeah, he didn't get knocked out, but he got banged up. He got
Banged up pretty bad. I mean, he's still hurt from our game and the game before our game. So,
he's very
I
hobbled.
don't,
And this time it's not like an arm, a shoulder for throwing because I mean you can turn around and hand off the ball and you can sidearm it if your shoulder's hurting, but an ankle, a foot, whatever it was, he was hobbling around. So that's
I
not good.
am, I am the connoisseur on ankle stuff. It is not easy to heal.
No.
And like I did for track and basketball and football, just taped it up, kept going. Took a lot of pain meds before, felt good. And then once they wore off and took the tape off, I was hobbling. But I just like that said right now, A&M's defense is going to tee off on him. Yeah, if he's playing, I 100% agree with that. They're gonna single him out and they're gonna blitz and run at him as fast as they possibly can and make him run. Um, but I feel like with Texas, they may have this one circled, but at the same time, I think they have Arch Manning getting ready to play for this game instead, and just having Quinn Ewers in his pocket and teaching him and coaching him, helping him, um, and going from there. Because I mean, he's Arch Manning is a decent quarterback. I mean, he's solid. So I feel like with time, he can get things squared away.
Yeah, I think so too. He looked like the better of the two quarterbacks the night that we played him for sure. But I think that had a lot to do with what we were doing to Ewers, and he did not see the field well, and we disrupted a lot. So,
Our
um,
game plan was against Ewers, not Manning.
yes, and clearly we struggle with backup quarterbacks. Let's not go down that road, but we do. So,
No, please, no, that's no. Stop. No more.
no more, no mas.
No más, no más pantalones.
So no.
And when we see a backup quarterback, we say, "Oh no, we suck again."
Yeah, and unfortunately that's happened more than once. So,
No,
and in very important games.
very important games. But hey, on the bright side, though, when that happened, we got back at them the year after or 2 years after and beat them when it mattered.
Mm, yeah, but when trophies are on the line, it still sucks.
I mean, trophy's a trophy, but we got the trophy that
Yeah,
year.
this is true. Well, I'm just really excited for this weekend. Like I said, I think this is my favorite weekend of the season. I've said that. I think I've been pretty consistent in saying that. We've had a couple of good weeks of games, and man, a couple weeks ago, a lot of madness, unfolding to get where we are. So just buckle in. This weekend is typically the upset weekend, and it's the one where you look up and you're like, what the heck is going on? But
Mm-hmm.
um, who knows? It could. Uh, but I'm just, I'm so ready. I wish it was now. Like I want to go to the game now. I'm ready to go. So
Yeah.
I'll be doing my best to cheer them on for all of us. Yeah, and Dad said hard to believe it's already the last regular season game. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how quickly it goes. And, you know, sometimes we hear, oh, football season is too long, there's too many. No, it's not. Couldn't be long enough. Because here we are,
I feel like it needs to be longer, but
but luckily, if you're good, like Georgia, um, some of the
you
other
go
teams
into
we talked
January.
about, yeah, it bleeds over into January. So thank God for that, right?
Yep. And with the playoff, it definitely helps out too. Like if you make the playoff, if you're one of the top 12 teams, hey, you make it till end of December, beginning of January,
Yeah.
maybe. So, I mean, it gives more teams an opportunity to make it into late December. Um, so I'm very, very excited for how this playoff is going to go for this, um, for the first time this year. It's going to be exciting to watch for sure.
Yeah. I'm ready for it. So, but we got to check one, two more boxes. We got to win this week. We got to win next week.
Mhm.
And then I'll be super excited for the playoff. But got two more steps to take care of here, and then we'll be there. So, um, I think that, just about wraps it up for tonight. So, we do appreciate all the everyone who tuned in and watched this now and commented, mainly Dad, and I saw Casey Auburn over Alabama. Yeah, go Tigers.
Go
um,
Tiger.
and if you like what we're doing, please give us a like, share with 5 to 10 of your friends. Like we always say, turn on notifications because we might pop up on a Wednesday like we did tonight,
Yep.
and definitely subscribe. It's free to do all of those things. So if you want to help out what we're doing, we would greatly appreciate that. Everyone, go have an awesome Thanksgiving day. Eat lots of food. Watch lots of football this weekend. Just hang tight and enjoy it all, because that's what we're all going to be doing. So thank y'all, and as always, go dogs.
Go dog.